Perfect, Asokan.
One second. YouTube start பண்ணோம். நம்ம இது ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணிடலாம். அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கம். தமிழ் தாய் வாழ்த்துல ஆரம்பிச்சிடலாம். நீராறும் கடலுடுத்த நீலமடந்த கெழிலொழுகும் சீராறும் வதனமென திகழ்பரத கண்டமிதழ் கனமும் அது சிறந்த திராவிட நல் திருநாடும் தக்க சிறு பிறை நுதலும் தரித்தனரும் திலகமுமே திலக வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனங்கே தமிழனங்கே உன் சீரிலமை திறவியந்து செயல் மறந்து வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே. நன்றிங்க. அனைவருக்கும் காலை வணக்கம். மில்வாக்கி மாநகர தமிழ் சங்கத்துல இந்த பெருந்தொற்று காலத்துல நாம இணைய வழி நிகழ்ச்சிகள் சிலவற்றை செய்து கொண்டிருக்கிறோம். நாம மக்களுக்கு அந்த நேரத்தில் என்ன தேவை இருக்கோ அதற்கேற்றாற் போல் நிகழ்ச்சிகளை தயார் செய்து அதை செய்து கொண்டிருக்கிறோம். அதன் வாயிலாக நம்ம இமிகிரேஷன் அட்டார்னி கூட ஒரு ஈவெண்ட் பண்ணினோம். அதுக்கப்புறம் தமிழ் சார்பாக நம்ம ஒரு சொற்பொழிவு பண்ணினாங்க. அதுக்கப்புறம் நம்ம 2 வாரத்துக்கு முன்னாடி நம்ம நலிந்த கலைஞர்களுக்காக ஒரு நிதி திரட்டல் நிகழ்ச்சி பண்ணினோம். கிட்டத்தட்ட ஒரு 8 தமிழ் சங்கங்கள் நமக்காக உதவி செஞ்சாங்க. அதன் மூலமாக நம்ம 5000 வெள்ளிகள், அதாவது $5,000+ நம்ம இதன் மூலம் நிதி சேர்த்து அதை நாம நலிந்த கலைஞர்களின் குடும்பத்தினருக்காக தீபாவளி பரிசாக கொடுத்தோம். மதுரையில் நடந்த ஒரு நிகழ்வில் கொடுத்தோம். இப்படி ஒரு சீரீஸ் ஆஃப் ஈவெண்ட்ஸ் போயிட்டு இருக்கும் போது நாம இன்னைக்கு நம்மளுடைய பார்வையை ஒரு சின்ன திசையை திருப்பி சில்லென்று ஒரு சந்திப்பு நம்மளுடைய நம்மளுடைய ஒரு தமிழ் மொழியை சார்ந்தவர் திரு கணேசன் அவர்களை நம்ம இன்னைக்கு சந்திக்க போகிறோம். கணேசன் ஐயாவோட பேரு. he is an entrepreneur, producer, social activist, இப்படி நிறைய இருக்குங்க. நாம அவருடைய சக்சஸ் ஸ்டோரியை இன்னைக்கு கேட்க போறோம். அதை நம்ம இன்னைக்கு நமக்காக தொகுத்து வழங்குறதுக்காக நம்ம உமா செந்தில் ஹெல்ப் பண்ண உதவி செய்ய போறாங்க. வாங்க உமா.
வணக்கம். மில்வாக்கி மாநகர தமிழ் சங்கத்தின் நேரலை நிகழ்ச்சிக்கு உங்களை வரவேற்கிறோம். இன்னைக்கு நம்மளோட பேச போறவங்க திரு கணேசன். இவங்க மிச்சிகன் மாநிலத்தின் டெட்ராய்ட் நகரை சேர்ந்தவங்க. இவங்க ஒரு ஹாலிவுட் ப்ரொடியூசர், பிசினஸ் ஓனர், ஆண்டர்பிரனர், இன்வெஸ்டர், ஸ்பீக்கர், பப்ளிஷர், அந்த மாதிரி பல்வேறு துறைகள்லையும் முத்திரை பதிச்சவங்க. ஒரு வெற்றிகரமான தொழில் முனைவராக இருப்பது எப்படி, how to be an entrepreneur மற்றும் பல நல்ல கருத்துக்களையும் நம்மோடு பகிர்ந்து கொள்ள இன்னைக்கு வந்திருக்காங்க. வணக்கம் திரு டெல் கணேசன்.
வணக்கம். Good morning, Uma. How are you? Yeah.
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah.
முதல்ல இன்ட்ரெஸ்டிங்கா உங்க பேர்ல இருந்து ஆரம்பிக்கலாம். உங்க அப்பா அம்மா உங்களுக்கு திருச்செல்வம்னு பேர் வச்சிருக்காங்க. நீங்க அதுக்கு ஈஸியா இருக்கும்னு டெல்னு மாத்திட்டீங்க. சோ அது ரொம்ப இருக்கும், சிம்பிள், ஈஸி. அது எப்படி அந்த பேரை செலக்ட் பண்ணீங்க?
உங்களுக்கே தெரியும், இந்த நம்ம யூசுவலா நம்ம எஸ்பெஷலி சவுத் இந்தியன் நேம்ஸே நார்த் இந்தியன் பீப்புளாலே சொல்ல முடியாது. ஸோ தே ஹேவ் டிஃபிகல்டி, அண்ட் எஸ்பெஷலி வென் யூ அமெரிக்கன்ஸ்க்கு வந்து கொஞ்சம் கஷ்டம் அது. ஸோ இன்ஸ்டெட் ஆஃப் சேயிங் T for Tom, H for Henry, I for India, அது சொல்லி முடிக்கிறதுக்குள்ள டைமே போயிருன்றதுனால ஸோ ஐ ஹாவ் டு கம் அப் வித் நேம். பட் லாஸ்ட் நேம் வந்து கணேசன் வந்து they were able to say, called it like Ganesan மாதிரி இருந்தது அவங்களுக்கு போல இருக்கு. So then I was looking for name within my name. So then I think the Mel Gibson came to my mind. And then so அதுக்கப்புறம் I said I should find 3 letters like Ted அந்த மாதிரி. So அதனால டெல்னு வந்திருந்தது. So interestingly enough, there is also a person by name William Tell in Switzerland. He fought for freedom and whatnot. So அதனால it's a real name. So so Tell became Tiruchelvan became Tell, and then that became Tel Ganesan. And then from here on, people are able to say my names. I don't have to explain. I don't have to waste time. So that's how it got started. I think all of us go through that problem, right? So it's a long name to be called, and although we like to be called by our name, but sometimes I want to make it easy on them so you can start the conversation right away, you know. So
very true. ரொம்ப இன்ட்ரெஸ்டிங்கா இருக்கு. ஸோ அப்பல இருந்தே ஹாலிவுட் ரிலேட்டடா மெல் கிப்சன்ல இருந்து தான் ஆரம்பிச்சிருக்கீங்க.
I think probably this happened 20 years ago when I became a citizen. So probably I knew back then that I'm going to become one. So therefore, அப்பயே இந்த பேர்லயே அது, so the journey started 20 years ago.
Nice, very nice. இப்போ நீங்க மூவி இண்டஸ்ட்ரி, மியூசிக் இண்டஸ்ட்ரி, ஐடி, பப்ளிஷிங், அந்த மாதிரி வெவ்வேறு இண்டஸ்ட்ரீஸ்ல பிசினஸ் வச்சிருக்கீங்க. சோ உங்களுக்கு நீங்க யூ ஸ்டார்டட் as இன்ஜினியர் பேசிக்கலி.
Yes.
சோ தெரியாத இண்டஸ்ட்ரியில எப்படி போனீங்க? லைக் ஃபியர் ஆஃப் அன்னோன் அப்படிங்கறத ignorance is bliss அப்படின்னு மாத்திட்டு எப்படி எல்லா இண்டஸ்ட்ரியிலயும் நுழைஞ்சிருக்கீங்க?
Yeah. I mean, it's very simple, right, Uma? So for example, I say to all the immigrants who were able to leave the country, the motherland, and come here to a new place, and they're able to start the life, right? To me, that is the biggest jump anybody can take. So all I was doing, I was just repeating what I did before. All of them, வேற ஒண்ணும் கிடையாது. So you know, we just came to an unknown place, unknown country. You started with nothing, and you did. So I said, after 10 years, I thought I will repeat the same thing. So the same formula is what I'm using. The difference between others and me is that after a while they get settled, they don't have the same risk-taking mentality, so it goes away. So எனக்கு வந்து அப்ப எப்படி இருந்ததோ அதே I'm just maintaining it, அவ்வளவுதான். That's the only difference between you know, me able to go into different industries and keep repeating the formula. The formula is the same, the recipe is the same.
ரிஸ்க் டேக்கிங் பத்தி சொல்லுங்க. அதாவது நீங்க சொல்ற மாதிரி இப்ப எல்லாரும் ஒரு ஃபேமிலி லைஃப்ல இருக்கவங்க எல்லாம் ஒரு கம்ஃபர்ட் ஜோன்லயே இருக்காங்க. ஒரு பே செக் வரும், மெடிக்கல் இன்சூரன்ஸ், கார் இன்சூரன்ஸ். ஸோ இட்ஸ் லைக் பிள்ளைங்க படிப்பு, காலேஜ், அதையே அந்த கம்ஃபர்ட் ஜோன்லயே சேஃபா இருக்காங்க. அதை உடைச்சிட்டு எப்படி ஒரு ரிஸ்க் எடுத்து டூ சம்திங் டிஃப்ரெண்ட், எப்படி நீங்க எப்படி ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணீங்க? வாட் இஸ் யுவர் அட்வைஸ் ஃபார் அதர்ஸ் ஹூ ஆர் லைக் திங்கிங் ஆஃப் ஸ்டார்டிங்?
So it's a good question, and I will answer. I'll take a few minutes to explain, because first of all, our mindset we have to change, right? So what I mean by we have to change the mindset is that the definition of life itself has to be changed. So the normal society or societal conditioning is what I would call is to say, okay, go to school, go to college, get married, get a job, get kids, and then, you know, go some little bit vacation and then retire and die, is what people think is called life. But life is such a wonderful thing. It is much beyond that. That is a major part of life, but that's not the only part of life. And as a human being, and everybody is blessed with very unique talents and unique skills. So you have to do something for yourself, your passion and everything. And so to do that, you must take those risks. So what I'm saying is that, so that's one aspect. And the second aspect is, like I said, everybody takes risk and they stop taking the risk because of several things. Oh, we cannot change that. It's going to upset the nest and all that. The answer is no, because after being here for a while, in fact, you're a lot more stronger. Financially, you're better. You know the place better. You know the system better. In fact, you should be able to take 10 times the risk that you took before. So again, it goes into the mindset, but the mind tells them not to do the, oh, no, it's going to get burnt and we're not going to do that. So it's about challenging your mind and then having a broader spectrum of what life is. And then when you do that, then you should be able to experiment and go into a new area. I'm not saying leave everything, go to the street and all that is not what I'm saying. You still maintain your savings. Take a small bit of risk, about 20% of what you have. Do some bets. And even if you fail, you still go back to what you were doing before. And then if the 20%, whatever you're doing, it works, then keep doing more and more. And then, the journey goes. Much like how your profession has progressed. And entrepreneurship is also similar to that. It's just that we don't think that way. We think it's almost like a gamble. And it is really a fear that is holding people back. If you manage your fear, you manage business and you manage success.
Okay, nice.
Yes.
இப்ப இந்த கோவிட் டைம்ல சின்ன பிள்ளைங்க எல்லாம் அவங்க ஒரு 10-12 வயசு பிள்ளைங்க எல்லாம் they start their own YouTube channel. They're also creative. எல்லாம் related to Lego, some cars, something, whatever they are interested. So அந்த மாதிரி யங் ஏஜ்ல நிறைய கிரியேட்டிவிட்டி இருக்கு. ஸோ அந்த கிரியேட்டிவிட்டியை எப்படி கண்டினியூ பண்றது? ஒரு யங் ஆண்டர்பிரனர், நாட் லைக் 10-year-old, பட் ஒரு 20-year-old, ஒரு காலேஜ் ஃப்ரெஷர்ஸ் அப்படி இருக்கவங்களுக்கு ஒரு டிபிக்கலா வேலைக்கு போய் மத்தவங்களுக்கு வேலை பார்த்து சம்பாதிக்காம அவங்க ஓன் ஆண்டர்பிரனரா எப்படி ஸ்டார்ட் பண்றது? என்ன, what do you think is a basic, and especially in the pandemic time, what do you think is a good industry to start a startup?
It's a good question, Uma. So I think the answer is very simple. Because now, because of pandemic, there is no physical events or anything. It's all virtual. So everything has to be done digitally. So you would focus in the digital space, right? And then if somebody says, no, I don't like digital, I'm going to do in the physical space, and the time it is stupid. So you shouldn't be doing stupid things when you pursue entrepreneurship. That's number one. The number two would be, is that what is their strength? What is their passion, right? What will keep them going, even if they don't make money, that keeps them awake in the night is really the dreams that keep them awake in the night is what they should pursue. And then the most important thing is that, are there opportunities for that in the marketplace, right? So you cannot be doing things where nobody pays attention, nobody cares. We shouldn't be doing that. And then most importantly is that unmet need, then understanding that unmet need and then figuring it out, how they can be different, how they can be adding value. And then I think if you do that, I think any industries can be pursued. There are so many things like, education, virtual education. A lot of people are already doing in that space. Media is another one to do. I mean, if you really look at all the teenagers, you go to TikTok, I mean, they are like, popping up like by the hour, which was highly unusual in the last several years. TikTok just came 2 years ago. So like that, there are several opportunities, but whether it is wellness, whether it is passion, whatever that keeps them going is what they should pursue. But traditionally, especially Indians and even within the Tamils, I think their thought process is boxed, right? Oh, you should only do engineer. Oh, you should do only doctor or attorney. And then even you go outside of that, people get restless. because that is because of societal conditioning. It's because it was conditioned by their parents, conditioned by the society. And then there's, oh, this guy is going to some remote things that we don't know. Just because they don't know, they shouldn't be imposing on the kids. And so my point is very simple. Sometimes the parents themselves are not probably the right person to offer guidance to their children in the current environment. The reason being is very simple. They only know what worked in their times, right? And the times have changed, the market conditions have changed, the whole landscape has changed. So for them to guide them in a new landscape with the old assumptions, to me, is a recipe for failure. So what the kids are to do is talk to people who are real experts, people who have done the movie, seen the movie, and get the mentoring, and then they're off to the races. I'm not saying don't listen to the parents or anybody, but that's not my point. You listen to parents for what they are good at, all right? Take the money from them, have them provide the food and shelter. But when it comes to entrepreneurial ideas and creativity, unless the parents themselves are creative, don't listen to them, because you're setting yourself for failure. I hope you guys are not thinking, wow, why did we invite this guy? He's saying don't listen to parents.
No. அது ரொம்ப நல்ல பாயிண்ட் சொன்னது. அது அப்பா அம்மா அவங்க ஜெனரேஷனுக்குள்ளதான் அவங்களுக்கு தெரியும். சோ அதுக்கு பெஸ்ட் எக்ஸாம்பிள் நீங்க தான். லைக் உங்க அப்பா அம்மா இந்தியால இருந்தாங்க, நீங்க வேற ஒரு நாட்டுல வந்து மகன் அமெரிக்காவுக்கு படிக்க போறாங்கன்னு சொன்ன அப்பா அம்மாக்கு வந்து படிச்சீங்க, அப்புறம் வேலை பார்த்தீங்க, அப்புறம் சம்மந்தமே இல்லாம புது புது இண்டஸ்ட்ரியில பிசினஸ் சக்சஸ்ஃபுல்லா ரன் பண்றீங்க. அதான் பாயிண்ட். அப்ப உங்க அப்பா அம்மா வந்து உங்களை பத்தி எப்படி பெருமைப்பட்டாங்க? அதான் அந்த திருக்குறள்ல சொல்லியிருக்க மாதிரி, ஈன்றபின் பெரிதுவக்கும் தன் மகனை சான்றோன் என கேட்டதாய் அப்படின்னு உங்க அப்பா அம்மா எப்படி பெருமைப்படுத்தினீங்க? ஏதாவது ஒரு நிகழ்ச்சி, சுவாரஸ்யமான நிகழ்ச்சி ஏதாவது எங்களோட பகிர்ந்துக்காங்க.
Yeah, I mean, like it's very simple, right? So my parents, I mean, obviously they're not in this field, and obviously my dad passed away a few years ago, but I think both of them felt that I've gone beyond their understanding and imagination. So I'm already beyond. So even if I go here and I'm doing this, they don't understand what I'm doing. So which means that's another definition for kids would be to, as long, if you can go beyond what your parents themselves can comprehend about your growth, then I think you have already made it, is what I would say. Then of course you have to continue for your own journey. So they felt very good. They felt very happy that whatever they could not even understand and imagine, so the impossible has become possible.
That's very nice. The impossible is become possible.
Yes.
So உங்க இப்போ MBA படிச்சவங்க எல்லாரும் அல்லது பிசினஸ் ஃபைனான்ஸ் ரிலேட்டடா படிச்சவங்க எல்லாரும் சக்சஸ்ஃபுல் பிசினஸ் ஓனர் ஆகிறது இல்ல. So உங்க பார்வையில entrepreneurshipனா என்ன? How do you sort of define entrepreneurship?
Entrepreneurship is something that it's almost like a lab, right? So you have an idea and you want to experiment and you go and test the market. Many things will work and many things may not work. It's almost like a kitchen. So you have all the ingredients and then everybody can put the ingredient, but some people put the ingredient, you get you have a nice recipe and you're able to make a nice dish and you're able to eat. Some people, when they come eat, nobody wants to eat. So what separates them would be is that the combination of various variables coming together and being very passionate. Some people, cooking, they know exactly what to do, how to mix at the right time, right combination. So similarly, in an entrepreneurship, is all about is going out there and trying it out, and then see what the market is telling, and having a knack of the marketplace. What is that we are trying to help? Understanding that gap, and then really exploiting that opportunity and make money out of the process. And this is really what entrepreneurship is all about. But obviously in the MBA and all that, they go into all that. But I would argue that it's my view of MBA is more for corporate, with all the people who are working in major corporations where all the structure is completely defined. So you can have, finance department, you can have marketing department, you have operations department, you have strategy, you have do all that in a well structured, in a well-running oil machine. Those things work. As an entrepreneur, when you start a business, you don't have all that, right? So you are your own watchman, you are your own garbage cleaning guy, you are the CEO, you are everything. So entrepreneurship is about doing whatever it takes to make it happen in a business environment, is my definition of entrepreneurship. There is no rule, there is no definition. You create rules, and that is why some people go and attack the marketplace, and then they disrupt, like Elon Musk. They go into new areas and disrupt and then create. Was there any rules written for that? No. And so that's, to me, it's a contrast between a person going to, I also did MBA, but the point I'm trying to make is that thinking is to me is not in line with entrepreneurial thinking, and so that's really what is happening.
Basically, think outside.
Yes. Think outside the box, and you do practical things. That's what I'm saying. So it's very simple. It's just not only thinking out of the box, being practical, right? So if you really look at, a lot of people go there and so let's talk about the MBA, right? Since we are talking about MBA, look at all the professors who teach in MBA. How many of them are entrepreneurs? Ask them to run a business. Ask them to take the risk. They won't, because they're only theoretical, right? That's what I'm making, So it's like this, like the analogy I can give you is like even a dentist. I mean, you want to have dentists that really work on real people with real teeth. Only then you want to go and get your teeth done. You don't want to go to some dentist who have never worked on people, just read them on paper. Oh, you got to do this, you got to do that. I mean, half your teeth will be gone if you go to that person. And that's what I'm saying. The point is that go with people who are real world practitioners, understand, got some, battle tested tips and tricks and scars and all kinds of things. And those are the people. That's why a lot of people who don't have a formal education, they're extremely successful in an entrepreneurial landscape. There are hundreds of examples for that. In fact, they don't even have degrees, but they are billionaires. So that's why this entrepreneurship is very different than from a formal education that we are all used to.
Very nice. இப்ப இந்த பேண்டமிக்ல எல்லாருமே அஃபெக்ட் ஆயிருக்கும். எல்லா இண்டஸ்ட்ரியும் மாறி இருக்கு. இப்ப ஐடி இண்டஸ்ட்ரீஸ் இஸ் மோர் லைக் கன்வீனியன்ட்டா எல்லாம் ஒர்க் ஃப்ரம் ஹோம் த்ரூ அவுட் த வேர்ல்ட். ஸோ பிசினஸ் போயிட்டு இருக்கு. ஸோ உங்களோட மற்ற இண்டஸ்ட்ரீஸ் இதனால என்ன மாறி இருக்கு? And is that the new normal everywhere? Like it's like we won't go back to the previous stage at all. So இதுதான் convenient. So அப்படின்னு என்னென்ன மாற்றங்கள் வந்திருக்கு உங்களோட நீங்க பிசினஸ் பண்ற டிஃப்ரெண்ட் இண்டஸ்ட்ரீஸ்ல?
I mean, Uma, I think that the thing is that whatever that requires face-to-face interaction will always have that face-to-face interaction, because some of the major deals are never done on, Zoom. It won't happen because, that has to be done through in person. Once the vaccine comes, people will still continue to meet. But what from my own experience, what I have realized is that, okay, only the meetings that really require physical meeting, you would want it to do that. Now, because of the Zoom, it gives you you saves the time. So non-value added meetings, you just use through Zoom, right? Like even this sort of a thing, typically this is like, okay, I have to go to Milwaukee, take a flight, go jump and come, and then mingle with people, and then say how, woo, and then come back. And then now we are doing it in Zoom. It is very convenient. It's just an hour of time. That's it. We are done. And then I say bye-bye and you guys are gone, right? So similarly, that a lot of things happen that way. So my take is very simple, right? So it will be a hybrid model where this type of tool, I mean, WebEx was there, all this thing was there before, but we never appreciated that. Yes. So now we say, wow, this tool is awesome and fantastic. Everything is Zoom, 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 you know? So everybody zoomed out because of that. But I think, you know, it will not go all the way to the end. I think somewhere it will stop. And then a combination of physical meeting and a combination of Zoom is where it will finally settle down, is really my thought. And I think certainly this has opened up multiple opportunities. It really created collaborative opportunities that was not there. It was there, but we never had the will to explore that. Now we have explored that. So we would still accept that. But me personally, as an entrepreneur, when you want to make some investment here and there, I mean, yeah, we can see the Zoom and all that. What if the guy put somebody else in there? And then after that, you put the money, the guy is gone. He's a crook and a criminal. You know, what are you going to do? So certain things you got to go and feel the people, touch them, you know, all that, and make sure that they're, you know, real people. That can only be done through physical interactions with people. So I think, you know, from that standpoint, that's what I believe. And that's what I'm seeing myself.
நீங்க என்னென்ன இண்டஸ்ட்ரீஸ் பிசினஸ் நடத்திட்டு இருக்கீங்க இப்போ? சோ அது என்னென்ன பிசினஸ், அத பத்தி கொஞ்சம் விரிவா சொல்லுங்க.
Yeah, I mean, like I obviously started as an engineer. I did my master's in mechanical engineering at Wayne State University in Detroit, and then I went to Chrysler and I was there from 1992 to 2005, working in various industries. So I started in this IT and automotive engineering services company. அதுக்கப்புறம் அதுல இருந்து 2005ல இருந்து until 17 I was running that company. And then in 17 I sort of stepped down from the company day to day, and then started experimenting. I told you, right, much like a lab, I started experimenting different businesses. And people ask me why. I think the reason is because I wanted to pursue my American dream in my own way. What all possible industries that one can pursue. So the industries that I'm pursuing, one is, you know, I got into innovation. So we created a massive ecosystem in the state of Michigan, connecting various cities like Lansing, Grand Rapids, Detroit, and Ann Arbor, and to create a massive ecosystem where people with ideas in high-tech industries can come together. So we created that innovation. It's called Kaiba Innovations, and through that we incubate companies, we invest in companies, we nurture them, and then we also, in the process, we also create our own software products. We just recently launched one to help with COVID or any health outbreaks. So we just implemented at one of our city called City of Pontiac recently, in fact, a couple of days ago. And then there are a bunch of other products that we are working on. So that's one part of the company. And the other part of the company is called, main company is called Kaiba. That still does, you know, traditional IT and engineering services. And the third company is called Kaiba Films, which I started in 2017. So we are on movie number 5 now, 5 feature films. First movie called Devil's Night, Dawn of the Nain Rouge. And there is another movie called Christmas Coupon. And there is another movie called Celebrity Crush. And there is another movie called Trap City, which is currently in post-production. And then one more movie called 18 and a Half. So there are about 5 movies that we are working on. And then the other industry is in music, because music also goes into the films. So we have almost produced 2 soundtrack albums with about 6 songs in one album that went into the movie Devil's Night, and another one called Trap City, with about 16 songs. So we have main company Kaiba, then we have Kaiba Innovations, Kaiba Films, and this is sort of a music. And then there are 2 more companies that are being worked on. And then also we also distribute movies. So we are also going to, in fact, next year, there is a Liam Neeson movie that we are going to distribute for the Indian subcontinent called Marksman. And so we have distributions there. And then we also looking at some fashions and then also wellness. So multiple teams, I have multiple teams working. So that's the plan. And so I keep, investing and testing and see if I could go into unknown industries. But I think, as I said before, if you know how to make success in one area or one company, then you almost can repeat. Like the same example, let's take the same analogy like a cook, right? I mean, you cook, everybody cooks at kitchen. If you know how to make good food in one recipe, I'm sure you can make multiple dishes, correct? Because the same thing is there. You just repeat it, that's all. Many people don't want to repeat it. I repeat it, that's all. I said, wow, that dish is so yummy and tasty. Okay, I'm going to do another one. Wow, oh, this is great. So you just, it just become a serial activity, from one dish, another dish, multiple things. So I'm doing the same thing in the companies. The only thing I would caution people is that you should be a serial entrepreneur, but never be a serial killer, okay? So that's really the thought on that, yes.
YouTubeல கொஞ்சம் lag.
Yeah, no problem.
உமா, நீங்க யூடியூப் பார்க்காம ஜூம் மட்டும் பாருங்க உமா.
Zoom. Okay. நான் நேர்ல தான் பார்த்துட்டு இருக்கேன். I don't know. கீழ பார்க்கறேன்னு சொல்றீங்க. Okay.
இல்ல, நான் என்ன சொல்றேன்னா, யூடியூபே பார்க்காதீங்க. Watch only Zoom because there will be no lags.
Okay.
Yeah, I see the lag.
Thanks. Thanks, Tel. நீங்க இவ்ளோ டிஃபரெண்ட் கம்பெனிஸ்ல ஒர்க் பண்ணாலும், இவ்ளோ டிஃபரெண்ட் இண்டஸ்ட்ரீஸ்ல இருந்தாலும், உங்க பேரு டெல் கணேசன் அப்படின்னு சொன்னா எல்லாருக்கும் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் சொல்றது, ஓ ஆமா, உங்களை பெட்னால பார்த்தேன், மூவி ப்ரொடியூசர். சோ அதுதான் உங்களுக்கு ஐடென்டிஃபிகேஷனா இருக்கு. என்ன நினைக்கிறீங்க?
That is true. See, that's what I keep telling people. I said, nobody cared if I work on innovation. I could be even launching a rocket along with nobody cares. But people are always fascinated by this industry. I mean, it is because apparently that's the only industry that brings a lot of fame to a lot of people. And I don't blame them. I mean, that's so true. You're absolutely correct. Because nobody would care if I did this, COVID thing for the city of the poor. Who cares? That's what people will say. But if you, as soon as you touch on a music or a film, then it multiplies 100-fold, I would say. Yes. With the exception of major entrepreneurs like Bill Gates, Elon Musk, and Steve Jobs, and of that profile, rest of them, nobody knows.
Yeah,
Like,
that's right.
In fact, some of the billionaires in Detroit, they're all so jealous of me. I said, well, man, you are taking all the publicity and all the oxygen out of. I said, what did I do? Oh, wow, we are a billionaire, blah, 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 but nobody talks about us. But you are everywhere. I said, I'm not everywhere. So you also make movies, is what I tell them. So your observation is correct.
இப்ப நானே உங்கள்ட்ட இந்த இன்டர்வியூ ஃபர்ஸ்ட் சொன்னதே, ஐடி இண்டஸ்ட்ரினா நிறைய பேர் இருக்காங்க, அதுக்கு எதுக்கு இன்டர்வியூ பண்ண போறோம்?
Exactly.
Different. For
Yes.
a Tamilian in US, like there are not too many people who will voluntarily go into a new industry.
Yes. And also,
yeah. உங்களுக்கு தமிழ் இப்ப நிறைய ஹாலிவுட் படம் நிறைய எடுத்துட்டீங்க, இப்போ எடுத்துட்டே இருக்கீங்க சீரீஸா. ஸோ இட்ஸ் லைக் இட் ஒர்க்ஸ் லைக் அ சாம். ஸோ தமிழ் மூவிஸ் எடுக்கிறதா இருக்கீங்களா? இங்க லோக்கல் டேலண்ட், எங்க மில்வாக்கி தமிழ் பீப்புள்லாம் யூஸ் பண்ணிக்குவீங்களா டேலண்ட்டை?
இல்ல I'm obviously, like I said, remember first thing நம்ம பேசும்போது market conditions I need to understand இல்லையா? So உங்க இந்த கிட்ஸுக்குலாம் அட்வைஸ் கொடுத்துட்டு நானே போய் அந்த அட்வைஸை மாத்தி பண்ணக்கூடாது இல்லையா? So I have been here for so long. I really don't understand the Tamil market well. And Tamil marketல அங்க எல்லாம் veterans are there 30, 40 years, அந்த இண்டஸ்ட்ரி ஊர்ன ஆட்கள்லாம் இருக்கிறாங்க. அங்கெல்லாம் நான் என்ன போனேன்னு எனக்கு சாப்பிட்டுருவாங்க. So I don't go there. So to answer your question, I don't intend to go into Tamil films, but I'm going to be here focusing into Hollywood, and then also looking at Atlanta. Those are the, LA and Atlanta and Detroit are the three places I spend most of my time.
Hollywood movie எடுத்துறீங்க? Hollywood movies ஹாலிவுட்க்கே போகாம எடுத்துறீங்க?
இல்ல, அங்கேயும் போறோம். ஹாலிவுட் தான் போறோம். I mean, we have to do that. Most of our Hollywood movies, post production are done in Hollywood. Yes.
Okay.
And then some shooting happens over there. Like, different, like for example, all the movies, one movie was in Hollywood and Florida, another movie was in Nashville, one movie was in Detroit. So it's wherever the location is, we just do it. But all the post processing happens only in Hollywood.
Okay.
Yeah.
So தொட்டதெல்லாம் துலங்கும் அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி நீங்க என்ன ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணாலும் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டேயே ஃபர்ஸ்ட் அட்டெம்ப்ட்ல எல்லாம் சக்சஸ் ஆயிடுச்சா? என்னென்ன பிரச்சனைகள் ஃபேஸ் பண்ணீங்க, அதை எப்படி ஓவர் கம் பண்ணீங்க? ஸோ உங்க லைஃப்ல இருந்து மற்ற நியூ யங் ஆண்டர்பிரினர்ஸ் என்ன கத்துக்கலாம்?
இல்ல, தொட்டது எல்லாமே ஆகாது, எதுவுமே ஒர்க் அவுட் ஆகாது, ஆனது கிடையாது. there are a lot of failures along my way. But உங்களுக்கு வந்து நான் வெறும் சக்சஸ் மட்டும் சொல்றதுனால, so it may appear that everything that I touch is becoming success. Yeah. So I would say like my hit rate is like 60 to 40%. I mean, 60% of whatever I work on, it works, and 40% of the thing it fails. And then, but my thing is that I keep trying. And then, I become very curious as to say, why am I failing? And then I try to, work on my curiosity. And I'm also very, with intense, I keep figuring it out. And then I keep trying until it is successful. So certain areas, we should not be obsessive. Then immediately you will be labeled as, OCD. But in business, you must have that obsessiveness until, our entrepreneurship, that it should not make you sleep. I'm not saying that don't become insomnia and then, popping sleeping pill. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that it should keep you up, and then that burning desire should be there to figure them out. So to answer your question, yes, there are a lot of failures. And there are a lot of success that they come together. It's like a package. It's like day and night. It's like hot and cold. They come together. And same thing in entrepreneurship. Success and failures, they are together. But many people think there is only failure, there is only success. No, there is always failures. And most of the time, failures precede success. And my advice to all the young entrepreneurs is that people who stop along the way, they fail. People who don't stop, they keep going, they succeed. It's just very simple. I'm giving in a very simplistic way, but that is the truth, and that's what I have learned over the years.
So learn by mistakes.
Yes. I mean, that's really what entrepreneurship is all about. I think we talked about earlier. That's purely the definition of entrepreneurship. It's not like, entrepreneurship is a sexy thing, then, boom, you go there and done everything and wow, people, you get publicity. No, it's a lot of hard work. Sometimes you won't have money. Sometimes you won't have money to buy a car. You'll be, sometimes people go bankrupt. I mean, all those things happen, all that real. I mean, I went through several setbacks, and every time I have a setback, I bounce back, and then I start all over again. And that's why I gave you the metaphor and the story of every immigrant who comes from a foreign country, that the biggest risk that they have taken is to leaving the motherland and coming here. And that risk taking must continue throughout their journey and not stop as soon as they find a job and then settling. Like, for example, you're all settled in Milwaukee. Now you don't want to uproot because you're comfy over there. But imagine you try to uproot the same thing over and over. Imagine the collective success one could enjoy. That's really what I'm saying. But taking that concept and applying it into an entrepreneurial journey is what is going to make people successful. Because if you keep doing the same thing, and expecting different results, I think, I don't want to say that Einstein has already said that, one must be insane to think that way. You know what I mean? You should not be even, inside. You should be in a mental facility. That's what many people do in the business world. Keep doing the same thing and expect different results. It's not happening. So you got to think different, do different things, make mistakes, and through that process, you will learn and you will find the right business, right opportunity, and then you will make it happen. And then it will lead to one thing, will lead to another. A lot of things are not in a business plan. You must have a business plan. You must have a plan. But a lot of things happen by the environment is beyond many variables control your outcome. Like example, like somebody could have created a perfect business plan in February 2020. That boom, I'm going to project this, this quarter, that quarter. Heck, they didn't even plan for COVID. How are we going to explain that, right? And same thing happens in an entrepreneurial journey, that setbacks will come, obstacles will come. But what should be with you is to how do you handle each setback? How do you handle obstacle? And then keep moving forward is really what the youngsters should do. And that's really what I have learned from my journey.
Nice. நீங்க சொன்னீங்க இல்லையா, இந்த ஏதோ எல்லாரும் படிச்சோம், வேலைக்கு போனோம், குழந்தை பெத்தோம், கல்யாணம் பண்ணோம், குழந்தை ஆர்டர் மாறி வந்துருச்சு.
என்னது
எல்லாரும் படிச்சோம், வேலைக்கு போனோம், கல்யாணம் பண்ணோம், குழந்தை பெத்தோம், ஏதோ அந்த மாதிரி பாரதியார் பாட்டுல சொன்ன மாதிரி தேடிச்சோறு நிதம்தென்று சின்னஞ்சிறு கதைகள் பேசின்னு பிறந்தோம், இருந்தோம், இறந்தோம் அப்படின்னு இல்லாம எல்லாரும் நம்ம கம்யூனிட்டிக்கு கிவிங் பேக் டு த கம்யூனிட்டின்னு நம்ம ஏதாவது மத்தவங்களுக்கு நல்லது பண்ணணும். சோ அந்த மாதிரி நீங்க உங்க என்னென்ன சேரிட்டிஸ்ல இன்வால்வ் ஆயிருக்கீங்க, அதை பத்தி கொஞ்சம் சொல்லுங்க.
So I have a charitable organization called Kaiba Kids Foundation, and so that we do something in the US and then also in India, the country where I was born, and then the country that made me what I am. So what I believe, Uma, is that like one other thing that I talk about it all the time, especially Indians, that it is not in their DNA to really donate a lot, right? So we lack that. I don't know why. Maybe because India is a country with a lot of poverty. That mentality is not there with a lot of people, because you look at Warren Buffett, look at Bill Gates. They just give a generational wealth to the such causes. So in my mind, what I have done is that what can I do to the country that made me what I am? And then also then taking back to the place that I live, what can I do to this place? So one other thing that I have done, I wish I could do more. So I looked at, city of Detroit. So we done quite a few things over there. One would be Detroit itself. If you really look at it, we have almost like a 50% illiteracy rate in Detroit. You would not believe that is much higher than even India, right? So what we did is that we provided on the education, so focused on early education for the kids, and then 75% of the kids are with a single parent. And so the combination of those two things are putting them in extreme amount of poverty, and people cannot even read and write. And I'm talking, this is United States of America. This is a major city. This is year 2020. I'm talking about literacy issue in a most advanced country. And so what we felt is that we also were told that there is a correlation between crime rate and ability to read and write. So instead of teaching them all the big things, we focused on helping them with reading. And so as part of our company, we assign people, mentored, and then in the process, we learned 3 things that help alleviate the problem. Is that some of the kids, that them having a feeling that some adult is really caring for them, doesn't mean that they need to be their parents. Somebody like a mentor that they can look up to, and the ability to read and write itself, those simple things itself really puts them on the other side of the law. So then we don't need to focus on drugs. Then they, if you don't put them on the right side, they go on to the wrong side, and the wrong side is all drugs and violence, and then the crime rate, they all go together. And so we focused on the education. So we did that for African American kids, and then also for Hispanic kids. And we did grade up 5 through 8, and then also we did some entrepreneurship for kids 9 through 12, to allow them not to make them like, although that is their opportunity to do, but at least get them into retail businesses. But if you really look at some of them, predominantly they are from different parts of the world, but the local African American youth, they were not pursuing those kind of retail opportunities because they are denied capital access and everything. So we started solving that problem through education, read and write, and some entrepreneurial. And I used to jokingly say to the boys, and they take it to, so, because, once somebody does drugs, they have an amazing supply chain system. So they know how to transport drugs, and then they can give it to the customer. Boy, you are so entrepreneurial. Only thing, you're working in the wrong business. Take the skill and put them into another business. You will be extremely successful. And so they all appreciate it. So my point is that that's one of the things that I've been doing. Although I like to spend more time and scale, but with so many things I'm not spending. But that's one thing we started. And so in India, we did a lot of things in Trichy, my hometown, where we helped kids, especially girls, who are orphaned, and they go through, up until 12th grade. So what we did is that we picked up girls around, grade 10, 11, and 12, and we started providing them on-the-job training, and through, so that after school, one of the problems that we were finding there would be after they come out of the school, they go back to the villages, and if they don't have a job, they they become vulnerable. So what we felt is that if we give them some word processing, Microsoft applications, or accounting tools like Tally in India, and then we partnered with the local Bharidasan University, and then what they did is that they created the certificate, and we created a program. We paid for the instructors, we provided the computers, so that way that after coming out of the school, so they can also get a job. And then we were trying to partner them with the local companies. So we were trying to help them improve their livelihood. So my charitable foundation, in a simple way, is to really help them, teach them how to fish, as opposed to keep giving them fish every single day. That's really our model. And especially with the girls, that it really resonated with me, because they were all telling that it will certainly help their family. And especially when women are educated, not only the family conditions improve, but also the whole city, the society in general improves. And then on top of the education, you give them an opportunity with a job. Then I think you are increasing the whole trajectory for generations to come, several fold. So that was the focus on India, and that was the focus. So my goal is very simple, right? So you become successful, you make money. So you just give a little bit of it. And I'm not saying, give your home, give your pension, give you everything. Just take 5%, 10% of what you do. And then even if you don't have money, at least giving your time, giving your energy, and then giving your knowledge. Sometimes some of them, all they need is a knowledge. And some of them, like I said, they don't want money. They just want somebody like a mentor that they can look up to, that is missing in their life. Many people are, we take these things for granted, but when you go and work with them, they miss these fundamental things in life, and that puts them out of life. And it takes them to the wrong side of the law. I mean, that's what I have learned in this journey. It's not like big things. These are very, very small things. Somebody to look up to, something to read and write. These are all basic things that we would expect. And I was totally shocked to see in such an advanced country, such a powerful country, the richest country on the planet Earth, and yet in my own backyard, I was seeing these problems. So I said, okay, what can I do? Instead of talking about the problems, I said, what can we do? How can we help? And where it needs to be changed, and what can we do realistically? And so we did that. It's almost like same approach that I took them in entrepreneurial journeys, to figuring out the unmet need, figuring out what the right solution is, and then see if it could make a change, and measure the progress. And that's what it is. I mean, so once you do in one area, pretty much you can cookie cut, and that's what I kept saying throughout my time with you guys. And that's really my message is that once you get the skill, it can be reproduced in many industries, many ways, if you want to. But if you don't want to, there is nothing, nobody can help you. Yes.
ரொம்ப நல்லா சொன்னீங்க. சேரிட்டினா ஜஸ்ட் ஒரு செக் எழுதி கொடுத்து வேலை முடிஞ்சுன்னு இருக்காம, உண்மையிலே நீங்க போய் என்ன வேணுமோ அந்த உதவி செய்றீங்க. அது ரொம்ப
correct.
I mean,
because this gives you a complete satisfaction, right? Then you really see how first of all I learned in the process that how blessed I already am, right? So it gave me a validation. Wow, I already have all these things I didn't realize. And only when I go there, I realize, wow, this is unbelievable, right? And so you become fulfilled, you're happy, and you're content, and you feel you're already blessed. And if I don't do all that, then I'll be saying, okay, how do I do this? How do I do that? And then you're just going on to the next big thing. Okay, I started with university apartment, then I went into 2-bedroom, then 4-bedroom home, 8-bedroom. Okay, I don't need 8-bedroom, I need 12-bedroom. I have 3 cars, now I got 5 cars and 2 boards. It goes on and on and on. And so I think at least by thinking about all this thing, at least it stopped that chasing those material things, like a crazy person. And it completely, these kind of things put a stop to that, and really focusing on another aspect of life also. Like I said before, there are so many aspects of life that we miss out, and we continue to believe like the standard thing that I've been saying, that by itself is not life. And that's the wrong way of society teaching us, for obvious reasons. People, especially the family, doesn't want to lose their time, so they said no, that is bad. And then this person says no, bad. But ultimately, you come alone, and you're going to go alone, and you came with nothing, and you're going to go with nothing. In between is just your own journey, and in that journey you have to do what makes sense to you, what resonates to your inner heart. So that way, even if you don't thank yourself, your soul will thank you for doing the right thing for it in the years to come.
ரொம்ப நன்றி. நல்ல டைம் மேனேஜ்மெண்ட். இப்ப இத்தனை கம்பெனிஸ், இவ்வளோ இன்னோவேஷன், மூவி, ஐடி, அப்புறம் அந்த சேரிட்டி, இவ்வளோ இதுல இன்வால்வ் ஆயிருக்கீங்க. ஸோ எப்படி டைம் மேனேஜ் பண்றீங்க? நடுவுல எங்க தமிழ் வேற பேட்டி கொடுத்துட்டீங்க.
So I don't do time management, Uma. So I do something I call energy management. So I manage the energy. So I try to stay highly energetic, so that way I can do many things. For a long time, I was believing, time management, put them in calendar, this and that, but the energy is not there. The time that I have is useless. Then you are tired, you're crawling inside the bed, and you don't even get up and all that. So the way I do that is that, I'm physically very active. So I work out a lot. I also do yoga. I also do meditation. So that keeps my mind sharp all the time. So I can have many ideas keep coming in and going in. And so I do an energy management. So I eat right. And so I don't eat junk food. So that really, even if I have a short time, with that energy, I can do many things. So I typically do an energy management, basically to maintain high levels of energy throughout the day. And so it's like this, right? You have iPhone, right? Even you talked about the battery before. How much charge you have? You only have 80%. You can only do 80% of the thing, right? So imagine if you have 100% all the time. So you don't worry about all that, and you keep going and going and going. So I focus on myself as how much energy I have. How do I increase my energy? How do I increase my physical energy? How do I increase my mental energy? How do I increase my spiritual energy? And then when those three energies come together, time doesn't matter. Time is anyhow a myth, right? Somebody created the time. The world doesn't know what the time is. The society taught us, oh, follow this, follow that. But my take on this is simple. You focus on your energy and you have high energy. Time really doesn't matter. As long as you have the energy, you can do many things. And then, so do that. But again, so told me, don't worry about it. Don't miss the flight and all that. You guys don't come after me, all that. But you know what I'm saying, right? So in the context which what I'm saying is that time, looking at the time doesn't do good. Focusing on your energy and then utilizing what the time is to me is the most effective strategy that I deploy all the time.
Nice strategy. Hope all of us.
From a time perspective, we are at 10:56.
Oh.
Uma, there are two questions in the YouTube.
ஒரே ஒரு ஃபன் கொஸ்டின் கேட்டுறேன். உங்க வாழ்க்கையே ஒரு படமா எடுக்கலாம் போலே, அந்த மாதிரி பிளான் எதுவும் வச்சிருக்கீங்களா?
ஆக்சுவலா நிஜமாலுமே இருக்குது. ஆக்சுவலா ஸ்கிரிப்ட் எழுதிட்டு இருக்காங்க.
Oh, nice. Very nice. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. With some other setbacks that I had, and so அத வச்சு ஒரு மூவி ஸ்கிரிப்ட் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காங்க. Yes, absolutely. And it will become like a real story.
It is a very interesting story as well.
Yeah.
So, okay. இவ்வளவு நேரம் எங்களோட பொறுமையா பேசுனீங்க. ஸோ சில கேள்விகளை எங்க நேயர்கள் கிட்ட இருந்து அசோகன் நீங்க கேக்குறீங்களா questions?
Sure. So first question வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா, is it advantageous to register a startup in a certain state versus the state you live in அப்படின்ற மாதிரி ஒரு கேள்வி கேட்டிருக்காங்க. அதுக்கு do you want to repeat the question one more time?
I got the question.
Okay.
I mean, like, unless somebody is going to take the company public and unless somebody is going to get a lot of investors, most of the time they prefer Delaware Corporation. But I would suggest, instead of getting hung up on all those things, just start the company and register wherever you are. And when the company start making good money and all that, changing it to Delaware is not a big deal. Or when some investor wanting to put $10 million, spending a few $100s here and there to go to Delaware is not a big deal. But what I'm saying is that when you start, the most important thing is to validate your idea. So to making sure that you work on it and making that idea successful is more important than all these legal things, because many people get stuck on these little things that don't matter in a grand scheme of things, is really how I would look at it. So, because these are all clerical paperwork, anybody can do it. But what cannot be done would be pursuing those ideas.
Okay. Thank you. One more question. என்ன கேட்டிருக்காங்கன்னா, business is iterative. So how do you define the reset point அப்படின்ற மாதிரி ஒரு question கேட்டிருக்காங்க.
You don't define that. You keep doing it until you become successful. Why do you want to reset? Why do you want to right? I mean, the question is Ashokan, the question is very simple. Do you want to become successful or not?
Absolutely.
So then you keep doing it. Then don't obviously you have to pivot. I mean, if it is not working, you have to figure out why it is not working and then say, okay, maybe my strategy is not working. Maybe I didn't understand the market. Maybe my product is not. All those things, you got to keep doing it. And then as it keep changing, and if you truly believe in it, you must keep doing it until it becomes.
Sounds good.
Another question. Minority owned business-க்கும் women owned business-க்கும் என்ன benefits நினைக்கிறீங்க? Like in Michigan state or in general any state or in as a federal company? So what is your idea, like thoughts?
I mean, the honest answer. I mean, you want an honest answer, sugar coated? Which one do you want?
True, honest answer. Let's go with it.
I mean, I mean, like most of the, let me put it, the minority companies, I think it's mainly, there's really an African American is how, is really focused on them. Indians, they do come, but it's just, in my mind, it's a checkbox. It does help, but I wouldn't count on it. I would count on your product. I would count on your services. It's just a nice thing to have. But just because you got a certification as a minority company, you're just not going to drum up business. Same thing, in a women-owned business, is a certified business is good, but again, you have to compete on your product and services. And is it a nice thing to have? Absolutely, it's a nice thing to have. And at least I would say in the federal space, those are helpful. But in the commercial space, I'm not finding it that beneficial. That is my take on it, unless you are working on some niche area that they say, okay, I must give this business to some minority companies, that 5% of this goes to them when they have set aside contracts. And then when you have the certification, you're at the right place, right time, then those certifications really help. But just having the certification by itself is not the winning ticket and is not the winning formula. And one should not hang the hat just on certification. And it's more like a nice thing it's like icing on the cake, that's all. Although as you get older, you don't want icing on the cake because it makes you fat.
Uma, do you have any other questions, Uma? Hey.
Okay. So just ஒரு fun question. கைபாங்கிற பேரு, உங்க பேர் எப்படி வந்துச்சுன்னு சொன்னீங்க. So கைபான் எல்லா கம்பெனிக்கும் கைபான் பேர் வச்சிருக்கீங்க. So அந்த சுவாரஸ்யமான நிகழ்ச்சியை பகிர்ந்துக்காங்க. கைபாங்கிற பேர் எப்படி கண்டுபிடிச்சீங்க?
கைபான்ற பேர் வந்து ஆக்சிடென்டா தான் நடந்தது. It's unexpected ways it happened. So roughly about 10 years ago, when I had 3 different companies, they are all long name. So I wanted to come up with some name that is catchy, like Google, Apple, that sort of thing. So I paid a retainer to a marketing company to come up with the name. So I paid a few $1,000s, and then they came back with something. I was kind of disappointed. I just went home, and my son was playing at the time. And then I asked him, hey, Ash, throw some names. I need some name. So he came running. It's almost like a card. It's called a Yu-Gi-Oh card. It's much like Pokemon. And one of the character in the Yu-Gi-Oh game is called Kaiba. It's actually K-A-I-B-A. So he came running. Dad, you must call this Kaiba. I said, what the heck is this Kaiba? I don't understand. He said, Dad, if you have this card, you can almost trump anybody. Don't think it's our Trump, but it's the trumping people. And then it is synonymous with being bold, aggressive, and all that. And then so Dad, don't keep it as Kaiba, because then they may hit you. But take that inspiration and come up with something else. So then instead of K-I-B-A, then we added 2YY. Back in the days, Obama was becoming a president. So the yes we can was resonating as a slogan. So that's why if you really look at Kaiba, you will have 2 Ys as unique. And then that's why I said, yes, we can. And then yes, we will is really yeah. So that's why that we made it very unique and unique name. And within the uniqueness, we made it unique. And then I was jokingly telling people, what is my legacy is that when I'm gone, when I'm dead, add another Y and then say, yes, we did.
Yes.
So that's really the story behind the story.
So உங்க பையன் சொன்ன மாதிரியே ட்ரம்ப் கார்டு மாதிரி உங்க பிசினஸ் எல்லாம் ட்ரம்ப் ஆயிடுச்சு. You won everything. உங்க பையன் பத்தி சொல்லுங்க. அவங்க என்ன பண்றாங்க, உங்க மகன்?
So now, he's also getting into this creative. So he's a music director, music composer. And so he did a couple, almost 4 or 5 songs for my feature films. And he's an upcoming artist. So that's what he's working on. Initially, mom being a doctor, he wanted to follow that path, but now, it just somehow he wanted to pursue, which is again very different than traditional family, Indian family. So he wants to pursue, and looks like he may be following whatever our paths are starting to cross.
Nice. ஒரே ஒரு கேள்வி, உங்க ஃபியூச்சர் பிளான்ஸ் என்ன? எவ்வளவோ இண்டஸ்ட்ரி தாண்டி வந்துட்டீங்க, மூவிஸ், மியூசிக் எல்லாம், என்ன அரசியலா? நாங்கெல்லாம் வருங்காலம் மிஷிகன் கவர்னரோட பேசிட்டு இருக்கோமா?
அதேதான் எல்லாரும் சொல்லிட்டே இருக்கிறாங்க. But I don't have any plans, because I enjoy what I'm doing, and I'm going to continue to keep doing whatever I'm doing. Create new jobs, make it better. Whatever I'm doing is fun. I'm enjoying life. Politics is good, but you sacrifice a lot and you get less pay. In fact, you don't even get paid properly. Much worse than a government. So, and then you have so much of the press coming on you, and it's just
it's a completely different life. Yeah.
It's a very different life. Yeah, it's a very different life. So I'm just gonna keep doing whatever I'm doing, and my journey is very simple, right? So I'm gonna keep going as far as I can. And one of the questions I keep asking myself is that, where is my limit, right? And how far can I go? And who sets that limit? Is it me, Tel, as a person setting that limit? Or is it the society, or is it the environment? And how far can I really pursue my American dream? So I'm actually a journey within a journey, and I'm trying to figure that answer. And then so I keep trying as it works. Wow, this is working. It's already broken the barrier, because many people say, oh, you're not going to do Hollywood. Nobody cares. I mean, you know nothing about movies, blah, blah, blah. So I broke the barrier. Same thing, I did some publishing. So also I broke that barrier. And then also music. I mean, I don't even know music. I don't know what rap is. Half the lyrics I don't understand. So I'm going to areas that I don't understand, right? And so I keep doing all that, and so I'm gonna keep pursuing until I'm unable to do so. So to really find where that edge is, and not fall over the cliff, but stop right there. Yes.
இவ்வளவு நேரம் எங்க பேசினதுக்கு ரொம்ப நன்றி. ரொம்ப இன்ஸ்பைரிங்கா இருந்துச்சு. உங்க தாட்ஸ், உங்க எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ்லாம் எங்களோட ஷேர் பண்ணிக்கிட்டதுக்கு ரொம்ப ரொம்ப நன்றி. ஆன் பிஹாஃப் ஆஃப் மில்வாக்கி தமிழ் சங்கம். அசோகன்.
கணேஷ், ரொம்ப தேங்க்ஸுங்க. ஒரே ஒரு கொஸ்டின் கேட்டிருக்காங்க யூடியூப்ல. இன்கேஸ் உங்ககிட்ட உங்களுடைய அட்வைஸ் வேணும் அப்படின்னா, ஹவு டு வி கனெக்ட் வித் யூ அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி ஒரு கொஸ்டின் இருக்கு.
ஐ மீன், உமாட்ட உங்கள்கிட்ட கனெக்ட் பண்ணுங்க, கனெக்ட் பண்ணிட்டு உங்களை ரவுட் பண்ணுங்க, அவங்க பண்ணுவாங்க. திடீர்னு எல்லாரும் நீ கனெக்ட் பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தாங்க, ஆன்சர் பண்ண முடியாது இல்லையா?
We totally understand.
Yeah, I want to be responsible, but certainly I'm ready to give my feedback and help people. I love mentoring. If any of my ideas is going to help them, I wanted to do that. But I want to do it in a fashion where it is manageable to me and for them and for you, so that way. என்ன சொல்லுங்கன்னா, உமா அவங்க நம்பர் கொடுத்துருங்க, அவங்களோட செல்போன், ஃபோன் நம்பர் ஃபுல்லா எல்லாத்தையும் கொடுத்துருங்க.
உமா எங்களுடைய மில்வாக்கி தமிழ் சங்கத்துல எல்லாருக்கும் தெரியும், அதனால உமா is easily reachable.
Easily reachable. அவங்கள ரீச் பண்ணுங்க. அவங்க எனக்கு questions கொடுப்பாங்க. And if something makes sense, then if I need to call them and talk to them, I'll be more than happy to talk to them.
Sounds good.
ரொம்ப நன்றி. அந்த பட்டேலுக்கு மில்வாக்கியோட கான்டாக்ட்,
மில்வாக்கியோட PRO.
I'm happy to do that. That's nice.
Yeah, you just became my PRO for Milwaukee region.
Right, I'm glad.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I wish you good luck to all the members of Milwaukee Tamil Sangam, and enjoy the time. This is a great country all of us are living in, and keep pushing the limits, and enjoy life, and keep pursuing your dreams. It was a pleasure joining each one of you, and I look forward to meeting sometime in Milwaukee when the pandemic is over.
You have
definitely.
to
Thank you.
in person வந்து பேசுங்க.
All right.
Definitely. Thank you very much, Tel Ganesan.
Okay,
Yeah, thank you. As we discussed in the topic, ஒரு chill conversation with Tel Ganesan அப்படின்னு தான் நாங்க பப்ளிஷ் பண்ணோம். ஸோ நாங்க அதை அப்படியே தமிழ்ல சொன்னா சில்லென்று ஒரு சந்திப்பு அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி இருக்கு. மிக்க நன்றிங்க கணேசன். Thanks for your time. Wishing you good luck for all your future endeavors. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
வணக்கம்.
Okay, வணக்கம்.